Right now, in every conversation you'll have today, in every decision you'll face, in every challenge that catches you off guard, your mind is either working for you or quietly working against you. The people who rise the fastest in life, the ones who stay calm under pressure, the ones who solve problems faster than others even see them, the ones who seem to always figure it out. They're not lucky. They're trained. They've trained their brain to outsmart emotion, outsmart stress, outsmart conflict, outsmart fear. And here's the fear of missing out. Most people never learn how to do this. They walk through life reacting, guessing, struggling, and repeating the same patterns because no one ever taught them how to use their brain the way it was designed to be used. But a small percentage of people, the ones others call sharp, strategic, unshakable, they've learned how to think deliberately. They don't panic in chaos. They don't fold under pressure. They don't let emotions cloud their decisions. Instead, they see the situation, read between the lines, slow the moment down, and choose the move that puts them back in control. Imagine walking through life with that kind of mental clarity. Imagine never being thrown off by surprises. Imagine being the person people come to because you always seem to know what to do next. This audiobook will teach you the brain training system that separates the reactive from the strategic, the overwhelmed from the composed, the average thinker from the one who outsmarts any situation. Most people will never train their mind like this, but you're here, and that already puts you ahead of almost everyone you know. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Understanding your brain's potential. Welcome to Chapter 1. Before we can train our brains to outsmart any situation, we must first understand what the brain is capable of. Most people underestimate their mental potential. They believe intelligence is fixed, that thinking fast or making smart decisions is a matter of luck, or that some people are simply naturally gifted. The truth is far more empowering. Your brain is trainable. Every habit, thought, and experience shapes its wiring. With deliberate practice, you can enhance your critical thinking, improve problem solving, and make decisions with confidence under pressure. This chapter will lay the foundation for understanding your brain's potential and give you the mindset you need to begin training it effectively. Think about a time you faced a complex problem. Maybe it was in school, at work, or in a personal relationship. Did you freeze, overthink, or make a snap decision that you later regretted? Your brain is capable of far more than those moments suggest. The key lies in awareness, recognizing the patterns in your thinking, the habits that limit you, and the untapped abilities you already possess. Your brain is not a static machine. It is plastic, adaptive, and capable of growth at any age. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections, means you can literally train your mind to respond better, faster, and smarter to challenges. The first step in outsmarting any situation is understanding the battlefield, your own mind. There are several key principles that form the foundation of training your brain. First, awareness of thought patterns. Your brain operates on patterns. Some are helpful, some are limiting. You need to begin noticing recurring thoughts that hold you back. Recognize the triggers that create stress or indecision. Pay attention to how you respond to challenges. Do you panic, procrastinate, or overanalyze? If you notice that under pressure you tend to second-guess every choice, that's not just who you are. It's a pattern you can consciously change. Awareness is the first step toward rewiring your responses. Second, neuroplasticity and growth. Your brain can form new connections throughout life. Every new skill, habit, or perspective strengthens these connections. Mistakes are not proof of limitation. They are opportunities for rewiring. Learning a new language, playing a musical instrument, or solving complex puzzles doesn't just improve that specific skill. It enhances your brain's flexibility and its overall problem-solving capacity. Third, critical thinking as a muscle. Critical thinking is not innate. It is trained. You strengthen it by challenging assumptions in daily life and questioning your automatic responses and habitual beliefs. Before accepting information, ask yourself, is this fact or opinion? What evidence supports it? Are there alternative interpretations? The more you practice this, the stronger your mental muscles become. Fourth, emotional awareness and cognition. Emotions directly influence thinking. High stress, anger, or anxiety can impair decision-making. Emotional regulation allows clearer thought and better judgment. Before making an important decision, pause and ask, am I thinking from clarity or from emotion? How would I assess this if I were calm and objective? Emotional awareness is critical to outsmarting complex situations. Fifth, habit and routine. Your brain thrives on deliberate, structured practice. Habits can automate productive thinking and reduce mental fatigue. Daily mental exercises build resilience and adaptability. You might start your mornings with a brief reflection or journaling session. You might read complex material and summarize key points. You might give yourself small problem-solving challenges or play brain games that force you to think in new ways. Consistency builds cognitive agility over time. Now let's turn this into action. How to begin training your brain daily. Start with a daily thinking journal. Each day, write down important decisions you made, patterns you noticed in your thinking, and moments where you reacted well or poorly. Reflect on how you could respond better next time. This builds self-awareness and lets you track your cognitive growth. Next, give yourself a critical thinking challenge. Pick one news article, argument, or real-life situation each day. Ask, what are the assumptions here? Are they valid? What evidence supports or contradicts this? Then write down your conclusions and any alternative solutions. You're strengthening mental flexibility and reasoning. Practice stress management. Use simple breathing exercises or short meditations. When you feel stressed, take a quick mental pause instead of reacting immediately. Reflect on what triggered your emotional spike. This helps you maintain clarity under pressure, essential for outsmarting any situation. Add brain exercises. Solve puzzles, play strategy games, or engage with logic problems. Learn new skills or dive into unfamiliar topics. Challenge your brain regularly with tasks that are just outside your comfort zone. You're expanding neuroplasticity and adaptability. Finally, reflect and rewire. Once a week, review the thought patterns you want to change. Identify mental habits that hinder your performance, such as catastrophizing, self-doubt, or automatic pessimism. Then create a simple plan to replace them with more productive patterns, like reframing setbacks as feedback or focusing on solutions instead of problems. Take a moment to reflect. What are my recurring thought patterns, and which ones limit my potential? How can I incorporate daily mental exercises to improve my cognitive flexibility? Which emotional triggers most often impair my thinking, and how can I manage them more effectively? How can I practice critical thinking in real-world situations today? What is one habit I can start now to train my brain for smarter decision making? Understanding your brain's potential is the first step to mastery. From here, everything you learn in this audiobook will build on this foundation, giving you the tools to outsmart any situation with confidence, clarity, and creativity. If this audiobook is bringing you value so far, make sure to subscribe. It helps us create more content like this for you. Now, let's continue. Chapter 2. The Science of Mental Agility. Welcome to Chapter 2. If Chapter 1 helped you understand your brain's potential, this chapter is about how to actively make it sharper, faster, and more adaptable. Mental agility is the ability to think clearly, adjust quickly, and make smart decisions in any situation, even under pressure. It's the cognitive equivalent of physical fitness. The most successful thinkers, leaders, and innovators aren't always the ones with the highest IQ. They are mentally agile. They can pivot, adapt, analyze patterns, and respond effectively to challenges that others cannot navigate. By understanding the science behind mental agility and practicing the techniques that strengthen it, you can train your brain to outsmart any situation consistently and reliably. Imagine facing an unexpected problem, a sudden conflict at work, a critical decision that must be made in seconds, or a high-pressure negotiation. Some people freeze, some panic, some react impulsively and later regret their choice. Mentally agile individuals are different. They process, analyze, and act with precision. The key lies in training your cognitive flexibility, your brain's ability to adjust its thinking, shift perspectives, and solve problems creatively. This is not luck. It's a skill rooted in neuroscience, psychology, and deliberate practice. Mental agility allows you to think strategically, spot opportunities hidden in challenges, respond calmly under stress, and outsmart obstacles that others struggle with. Let's break down the science and principles behind mental agility. First, neural network flexibility. Your brain operates as a network of neurons. The more connections you form, the faster and more flexible your thinking becomes. Novel experiences and learning create new neural pathways. Challenging problems force your brain to adapt and rewire. The stronger this network, the quicker your brain can pivot under pressure. Learning to solve complex puzzles, exploring unfamiliar topics, or engaging in strategic games strengthens these neural networks and makes your brain more agile. Second, working memory enhancement. Working memory is your brain's mental workspace. It allows you to hold information temporarily while solving problems. Strong working memory improves multitasking, analysis, and decision-making. Weak working memory can lead to mistakes and slow responses. Exercises like mental math, memory games, and planning strategies in your head expand this workspace, enhancing your ability to think on your feet. Third, cognitive flexibility. Cognitive flexibility is the ability to switch between thinking strategies or perspectives. It helps you consider multiple solutions instead of being locked into one. It prevents rigid thinking in high-stakes situations and encourages creativity and adaptive problem solving. When a project goes wrong, cognitive flexibility means you don't just blame or panic. You reassess, explore alternative approaches, weigh pros and cons, and pivot to the best available solution. Fourth, pattern recognition. Your brain is naturally good at recognizing patterns, but only if you train it. Identifying trends and correlations helps you anticipate outcomes. Recognizing behavioral, strategic, or operational patterns increases your decision-making speed. Mental agility depends on seeing the links that others miss. A trader who notices a subtle market pattern, or a manager who spots inefficiencies early, is leveraging pattern recognition for smarter action. Fifth, stress resilience and neurochemistry. Mental agility is hindered by unmanaged stress. Stress releases chemicals like cortisol, which can impair memory and decision-making when elevated for too long. Training your brain to remain calm under pressure maintains clarity and focus. Techniques like controlled breathing, mindfulness, and visualization help regulate your neurochemistry for optimal performance. Before giving a critical presentation, for example, using deep breathing and mental rehearsal keeps your brain agile and responsive, preventing panic-induced errors. Now let's build mental agility in everyday life. Start with a daily brain workout. Solve puzzles, riddles, or logic problems each day. Alternate between different types of problems so your brain doesn't get comfortable with just one pattern. Track your progress and gradually increase the difficulty. This expands neural connections and mental adaptability. Next, practice switching perspectives. In any situation, ask yourself, how would someone else solve this? What would I do if my resources were limited? What is the opposite approach to this problem? This simple exercise enhances cognitive flexibility and creativity. Use simulated pressure challenges. Set time limits for problem-solving tasks. Practice making decisions under controlled stress, short deadlines, limited information, or unexpected changes. Gradually increase the difficulty and complexity. You're teaching your brain to stay sharp under pressure. Train your pattern recognition. Observe daily routines, markets, conversations, or systems around you. Look for trends, correlations, and deviations. Try to predict what might happen next and then see if you were right. You're strengthening predictive thinking. Work on your working memory. Practice memorization exercises, number sequences, lists, or short passages. Engage in dual task exercises, like holding a number in your mind while solving an unrelated problem. You can even use games or apps designed to train working memory. You're expanding your mental workspace. Finally, build emotional and neurochemical control. Practice mindfulness meditation for 10 to 15 minutes each day. Use visualization to mentally rehearse high-pressure scenarios and your ideal responses. Apply controlled breathing techniques whenever you feel stress rising. This helps you maintain mental clarity and flexibility, even when life gets intense. Reflect on these questions. How flexible is my thinking in new or high-pressure situations? Where can I practice switching perspectives to improve decision-making? Which patterns in my work, relationships, or life am I overlooking? How does stress affect my thinking? And how can I regulate it more effectively? What daily exercises can I commit to for sharper, faster thinking? Training your brain for agility is about daily practice, awareness, and deliberate challenge. Every exercise you do strengthens your ability to outsmart any situation, making your mind a more powerful, adaptive tool. Chapter 3. Cognitive Biases and How to Outsmart Them. Welcome to Chapter 3. By now, you understand your brain's potential and how to develop mental agility. But there's a hidden obstacle in almost every decision you make: cognitive biases. Cognitive biases are the shortcuts your brain takes to process information quickly. They are mental patterns designed for efficiency, but they often lead to errors in judgment, flawed reasoning, and poor decisions. Outsmarting any situation requires not only agility, but also awareness of these biases and the strategies to counteract them. This chapter will reveal some of the most common cognitive biases, explain their effects, and teach you practical ways to neutralize them. Have you ever made a decision and later thought, "Why did I do that?" Or "I should have seen that coming"? Most likely, your brain relied on a bias, a mental shortcut that made processing faster but accuracy lower. These biases are not signs of stupidity. They are universal, hardwired patterns designed to help us survive. The problem arises when these shortcuts interfere with rational, strategic thinking. By understanding how biases work, you can pause, analyze, and make better choices, even in complex, high-pressure situations. Let's explore some key biases that often derail decision-making and how to counter them. First, confirmation bias. This is the tendency to seek or interpret information in a way that confirms your pre-existing beliefs. You pay attention to what agrees with you and ignore what doesn't. The effect is that you overlook evidence that contradicts your assumptions. The consequence is poor decision-making, missed opportunities, and flawed analysis. To outsmart confirmation bias, deliberately seek opposing viewpoints. Ask yourself, what evidence would disprove my idea? Challenge your assumptions before acting. Before investing in a project, for example, don't just review positive reports. Actively look for critical perspectives and potential weaknesses. Second, the availability heuristic. This is the tendency to overestimate the importance of information that is recent, vivid, or easy to recall. Your perception of reality gets skewed by what's most emotionally charged or immediately in front of you. The result is overreaction, misplaced priorities, or unnecessary fear. To counter this, look at data over anecdotes. Consider long-term trends rather than just recent events. Pause before reacting to emotionally intense information. After hearing about a rare plane crash, for instance, some people irrationally fear flying, even though the statistics clearly show it is still very safe. Third, anchoring bias. This is the tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information you receive, the anchor, when making decisions. All your later judgments are pulled toward that initial reference point. This can cause you to negotiate poorly, overpay, or misjudge value. To outsmart anchoring, delay immediate judgments. Gather multiple reference points. Reassess values independently of the first number or idea you heard. During salary negotiations, for example, avoid anchoring on the first offer. Instead, evaluate what's fair based on objective market research. Fourth, overconfidence bias. This is the tendency to overestimate your own knowledge, abilities, or predictions. It can lead you to take unnecessary risks or ignore important details. To counter overconfidence, track your past predictions against what actually happened. Seek feedback from trusted sources who will be honest with you. Adopt a mindset of informed humility, always asking, "What might I be missing?" Before making a major decision, consult colleagues or mentors who can challenge your assumptions. Fifth, loss aversion. This is the tendency to fear losses more strongly than you value equivalent gains. Losing $100 feels worse than gaining $100 feels good. Loss aversion can cause you to avoid calculated risks, leading to missed opportunities and stagnation. To outsmart it, deliberately frame decisions in terms of both potential gains and potential benefits, not just what you could lose. Analyze worst-case scenarios rationally instead of emotionally. Balance risk and reward deliberately. Entrepreneurs, for example, often hesitate to invest in innovation because of potential failure. Recognizing loss aversion allows them to act more strategically. Sixth, status quo bias. This is the preference for keeping things as they are, even when change would be beneficial. You choose familiarity over progress. This bias causes resistance to innovation and adaptation, which can lead you to fall behind or miss opportunities. To counter it, ask yourself, is my current choice truly optimal or is it simply familiar? Consider alternative options and imagine the benefits of change. Challenge decisions that are driven mainly by comfort. Seventh, hindsight bias. This is the tendency after something happens to believe that you knew it all along. It makes past events seem more predictable than they were, which can inflate your confidence and distort your learning. To outsmart hindsight bias, record your decisions and your reasoning before results are known. Afterward, compare outcomes to your original expectations honestly. Learn the lessons, but don't pretend the outcome was obvious from the start. Awareness alone isn't enough. You need practical methods to neutralize biases. One powerful technique is thinking backwards. Before acting, reverse your assumptions. Ask, what would need to happen for this to fail? Consider alternative explanations for what you're seeing. This reduces confirmation and overconfidence biases. Next, diversify your input. Seek opinions from people with different backgrounds and perspectives. Read opposing arguments or critiques, especially from sources that don't automatically agree with you. Avoid living in an echo chamber. This helps counter availability and confirmation biases. Slow down your decisions whenever possible. Avoid snap judgments on important matters. Take time to evaluate all available evidence. Use a simple decision-making framework. Define the question, list your options, weigh the pros and cons, and then choose. Slowing down reduces anchoring, overconfidence, and loss aversion. Track your decisions and outcomes. Maintain a decision log where you record your reasoning, assumptions, and expected results. Review this regularly to spot patterns in your thinking. You'll begin to see where certain biases keep recurring and you can adjust your approach. Use premortems. Before committing to a plan, imagine it has already failed. Ask, what could have caused this failure? Then use those answers to strengthen your plan and mitigate risks. This helps overcome overconfidence and loss aversion. End each day with a brief reflection. Ask yourself, where did my thinking go wrong today? Did I act on assumptions or on evidence? What bias might have influenced my decision? This daily check-in keeps your thinking sharp and objective. Reflect on these questions now. Which cognitive biases affect me most frequently? How have these biases impacted my past decisions? What strategies can I implement to neutralize them starting today? Which situations in my life require heightened awareness of biases? How can I track my decisions to identify patterns and improve my judgment? Outsmarting any situation requires not just mental agility, but also clarity and objectivity. By recognizing and counteracting cognitive biases, you can make better decisions, think faster, and anticipate outcomes that others miss. If this audiobook is bringing you value so far, make sure to subscribe. It helps us create more content like this for you. Now let's continue. Chapter 4. Developing Problem-Solving Mastery. Welcome to Chapter 4. By now, you understand your brain's potential, how to develop mental agility, and how to outsmart cognitive biases. The next step is problem-solving mastery, the ability to approach challenges strategically, generate effective solutions, and act decisively. Problem-solving is not about luck or innate genius. It's about applying structured thinking, creativity, and mental discipline. This chapter will give you a roadmap to tackle any challenge, from everyday decisions to complex, high-stakes situations. Every day you encounter problems, some minor, some critical. How you approach them determines your success, influence, and confidence. Most people react impulsively, jump to conclusions, or avoid difficult problems altogether. A master problem solver, however, follows a process. Assess the situation, identify underlying causes, generate multiple solutions, evaluate risks and rewards, then decide and act strategically. Developing problem-solving mastery allows you to outsmart any situation, turning obstacles into opportunities and challenges into growth. Let's explore the core principles that transform problem-solving from guesswork into skill. First, define the problem clearly. Ambiguity is the enemy of solutions. Ask yourself, what exactly is the problem? Break complex issues into smaller, more manageable parts. Instead of saying, sales are down, dig deeper. Are leads declining? Is the conversion rate dropping? Are competitors outperforming you? A clear definition ensures your solutions target the root cause, not just the surface symptoms. Second, analyze causal factors. Investigate why the problem exists. Look beyond surface-level explanations. Ask why multiple times to uncover deeper causes. If team productivity is low, don't stop at people are unmotivated. Ask why there is low motivation. Is it unclear goals, poor communication, a lack of recognition? Keep digging until you find the real drivers. Third, generate multiple solutions. Avoid fixating on a single approach. Give yourself time to brainstorm freely before judging any idea. Encourage creativity, unconventional thinking, and lateral solutions. If a project is behind schedule, you might consider several options: hiring temporary support, reallocating resources, adjusting deadlines, simplifying the scope, or implementing better workflow tools. The more options you generate, the greater your chance of finding an effective one. Fourth, evaluate risks and benefits. For each option, assess the pros, cons, and potential consequences. Consider both short-term and long-term impacts. Where possible, estimate the likelihood of success and the cost of failure. Each proposed solution will involve trade-offs. Quantify potential risks versus expected gains before committing. Strategic evaluation prevents impulsive decisions and ensures smarter outcomes. Fifth, decide and take deliberate action. Avoid analysis paralysis. Once you've evaluated your options, choose the most viable solution based on evidence, not fear. Commit to it fully and execute with confidence. Communicate clearly with anyone affected by the decision. Set specific steps, deadlines, and responsibilities. Then monitor progress and stay ready to adjust if new information arises. Finally, reflect and learn. After implementation, evaluate the results. Ask yourself, what worked well? What didn't? What could be improved next time? A post-project review, no matter how informal, helps you identify strengths, gaps, and areas for improvement. Over time, this reflection transforms experience into reliable expertise. Now let's train your problem-solving brain. Start with daily problem identification. Each day, choose one problem, big or small. It could be a work issue, a personal challenge, or something simple like optimizing your schedule. Break it down into causes, context, and constraints. Write your analysis in a journal. You're building clarity and diagnostic skill. Next, do a brainstorming exercise. For that problem, generate at least 5 possible solutions. Force yourself to go beyond the obvious. Include at least one solution that feels unconventional. Don't judge your ideas while you're generating them. Evaluation comes later. You're strengthening creative thinking and flexibility. Then, use a simple decision matrix. For each solution, score it on feasibility, impact, risks, and resources required. Rank your options based on these scores. This trains you to evaluate objectively instead of relying on gut feeling alone. Create simulated scenario challenges. Invent hypothetical problems or use real-world scenarios you might face in the future. Practice defining the problem, analyzing causes, brainstorming solutions, and evaluating risks. To build pressure tolerance, set a time limit for each stage. Build a feedback loop. Review past decisions, both successes and failures. Ask, what did I do well? Where did my thinking fall short? Was I biased? Did I jump to conclusions? Use these insights to refine your process. Finally, practice team problem solving. Collaborate with colleagues or friends on complex issues. Observe how others think, what questions they ask, and the perspectives they bring. Learn to integrate collective intelligence into your decision-making. This not only improves your solutions, but also increases your influence. Take a moment to reflect. How do I currently approach problems and where can I improve? Am I analyzing root causes or only dealing with surface symptoms? How can I generate more creative, effective solutions every day? Do I evaluate risks objectively before deciding, or do I rely too much on instinct? What lessons from past problems can inform my future decisions? Developing problem-solving mastery is about structured thinking, creativity, and disciplined execution. With practice, your brain will respond to challenges faster, more effectively, and with greater confidence than ever before. Chapter 5. Training your mind under pressure. Welcome to Chapter 5. So far, you've explored your brain's potential, developed mental agility, and learned to outsmart cognitive biases and master problem solving. But all of these skills are tested in one place, under pressure. Pressure can be anything: a looming deadline, an important decision, a high-stakes negotiation, or an unexpected crisis. Most people crumble, freeze, or make rash decisions in these moments. Mentally strong individuals, however, thrive under pressure. This chapter will show you how to train your brain to perform optimally under stress, remain calm, and make smart, strategic choices every time. Imagine standing in front of a critical audience, facing a sudden challenge, or handling a problem that demands immediate action. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and your mind feels overloaded. What separates those who succeed from those who fail isn't luck. It's mental conditioning. Your brain is capable of remaining clear, agile, and decisive even under extreme stress, but only if it has been trained. Pressure is not the enemy. In fact, it is an opportunity to strengthen your mind, test your strategies, and enhance your resilience. Let's explore the science and strategies that allow your brain to thrive under stress. First, understand the physiology of stress. When you feel pressure, your body releases adrenaline and cortisol. In the short term, this can enhance alertness, focus, and reaction time. But if stress remains high for too long, it begins to impair memory, judgment, and decision-making. The key insight is this: you can learn to harness stress as a tool instead of letting it become a limitation. Recognizing your body's responses allows you to manage your mental state more effectively. Second, emotional regulation. To perform under pressure, you must stay calm and composed. This doesn't mean you stop feeling stress. It means you learn to respond instead of react. Observe your emotional reactions without judging them. Notice when you're getting anxious, angry, or overwhelmed. Then use simple techniques to reduce anxiety and regain clarity. For example, during a tense negotiation, simply noticing that your anxiety is rising and choosing to slow your breathing can help you maintain composure and speak with more clarity and authority. Third, focus and attention control. Pressure often scatters your attention. Your mind jumps between fears, worst-case scenarios, and countless what-ifs. Training your brain to focus on what's relevant and filter out distractions is essential. You can use mental anchoring, choosing a single point of focus, such as your main objective or one key phrase, to stabilize your attention. Before a high-stakes presentation, for instance, focus on your core message and the impact you want to create, rather than rehearsing every possible objection. Anchoring your attention improves your performance. Fourth, decision-making strategy. Under pressure, people often make impulsive choices or freeze and make none at all. To counter this, use a simple, structured decision-making framework even when you're under time constraints. Define the problem in one sentence. List your main options. Quickly assess the risks and benefits of each. Then choose and act deliberately. Even if you only have a few minutes, following this structure reduces errors and panic-driven decisions. Fifth, simulation and repetition. Rehearsing high-pressure scenarios, mentally or physically, trains your brain to respond more effectively when those situations actually occur. Athletes, emergency responders, and pilots regularly visualize or simulate challenging situations so that their responses become automatic and efficient. You can do the same with presentations, negotiations, interviews, or difficult conversations. Sixth, building resilience through challenge. You don't become mentally strong by avoiding pressure. You become strong by exposing yourself gradually to challenge. Start with controlled, lower-stakes situations that make you slightly uncomfortable, like speaking up in a meeting, handling a minor conflict, or making a decision with a small time limit. Then progressively increase the stakes or intensity. Each time you face pressure, reflect on what you learned. Over time, your brain learns that stress is survivable and manageable. Seventh, physical wellness and cognitive performance. Your brain's ability to perform under pressure is heavily influenced by your physical state. Sleep, nutrition, and exercise all impact your clarity and emotional stability. Fatigue amplifies stress reactions. Poor diet can affect focus and mood. Regular exercise, on the other hand, reduces baseline stress levels and improves brain function. Taking care of your body is not separate from training your mind. It is part of it. Now let's build a practical routine for training your mind under pressure. First, daily pressure exercises. Give yourself small, timed challenges every day. Solve a problem within a tight time limit. Make a decision quickly based on limited information. Speak up once in a situation that makes you slightly nervous. This conditions your brain to stay effective as the clock ticks. Second, visualization. Each day, take a few minutes to mentally rehearse a high-pressure scenario you care about. See yourself walking into it. Feel the nerves, but then imagine yourself breathing steadily, thinking clearly, and responding calmly and confidently. Picture both the challenge and your successful response. Visualization strengthens the neural pathways for those responses, making them more likely in real life. Third, controlled breathing and anchoring. Use a simple breathing pattern. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Repeat this several times whenever you feel stress rising. At the same time, anchor your attention. Choose a single phrase like steady and clear, or focus on one physical point, perhaps your feet on the ground or your hands resting on a table. This combination brings your mind back to the present and steadies your nervous system. Fourth, structured decision drills. Take real or hypothetical problems and practice making decisions on them within a set time. Define the problem, list options, assess risks and benefits briefly, then decide. Afterward, review the outcome. Ask, did I follow the structure? Did I panic? What can I improve next time? Fifth, stress exposure gradation. Start with situations that make you a little uncomfortable, then gradually increase difficulty. You might begin with low-stakes public speaking, then move to more important presentations, or begin with simple negotiations before handling more critical ones. You're building resilience layer by layer. Sixth, post-pressure reflection. After a high-pressure experience, don't just move on. Ask yourself, what went well? What didn't? How did my emotions and thoughts influence my choices? What would I do differently next time? This transforms every stressful event into a training session. Consider these questions now. How does my brain currently respond under pressure? What specific triggers cause stress that impairs my thinking or decision-making? Which techniques, breathing, visualization, structure, can I start using to remain calm and focused? How can I gradually expose myself to more pressure in a healthy, intentional way? What daily habits can I build to improve my cognitive performance under stress? Training your mind under pressure transforms stress from a limiting factor into a strategic advantage. The more you practice, the more your brain responds with clarity, creativity, and confidence, even in the most challenging situations. If this audiobook is bringing you value so far, make sure to subscribe. It helps us create more content like this for you. Now let's continue. Chapter 6, Closing Insight, Your Brain as Your Superpower. Congratulations. You've reached the final chapter. Over the course of this audiobook, you've learned to understand your brain's potential, enhance mental agility, outsmart cognitive biases, master problem solving, and train your mind under pressure. Now it's time to synthesize these lessons into a single, powerful insight. Your brain is your most valuable tool, your ultimate superpower. But like any tool, its effectiveness depends on how you use it, train it, and apply it intentionally. This final chapter will show you how to consolidate everything you've learned, adopt a lifelong mindset of cognitive mastery, and apply it to outsmart any situation every time. Imagine your brain as a supercomputer, capable of complex calculations, adaptive problem solving, and intelligent decision making. The difference between ordinary performance and extraordinary results lies in how well you train and maintain this supercomputer. Every exercise you've practiced in this audiobook, mental agility drills, bias awareness, problem-solving processes, and pressure training, strengthens neural pathways, sharpens focus, and increases adaptability. The real power comes from integration, using these skills together seamlessly in real-life situations. When combined, they allow you to navigate challenges faster, smarter, and with a level of confidence that others will notice. Let's break down the principles that turn knowledge into an everyday superpower. First, integrated thinking. Instead of using each skill in isolation, you begin combining critical thinking, problem solving, and bias awareness. You avoid fragmented approaches and think holistically. You approach challenges with both logic and creativity. In a business negotiation, for example, you analyze data and arguments critically, generate multiple strategies, remain aware of your own biases, and anticipate the other side's emotional reactions. This integration leads to optimal decisions. Second, deliberate practice. Consistent, intentional exercises reinforce your neural pathways. You focus especially on the areas that challenge you most, maybe staying calm under stress, or avoiding impulsive decisions, or seeing alternative perspectives. You track your progress and refine your techniques over time. Daily mental challenges, decision journals, and reflection exercises transform theory into automatic, high-performance thinking. Third, mindful adaptability. You become aware of changing circumstances and adjust your strategies without losing clarity. You respond proactively, not reactively. When a sudden crisis arises, instead of spiraling, you stay calm, evaluate your options, and pivot your approach quickly. You're not thrown off by change. You adapt to it intelligently. Fourth, emotional and cognitive harmony. You maintain clarity by managing your stress and emotions. You use emotional intelligence to interpret signals and anticipate how others will respond. You align your thinking and your emotional state so they don't conflict but support each other. High-pressure decisions, for example, require both a calm mind and an accurate reading of the people involved. Balancing these elements gives you a powerful edge. Fifth, reflection and continuous improvement. You make it a habit to review your past decisions to identify your strengths and weaknesses. You learn from mistakes without harsh self-judgment. You apply those insights to future choices. A weekly reflection session, no matter how short, helps you consolidate your learning and ensure that your mental abilities are constantly evolving. Now let's turn your brain into your everyday superpower through practical steps. First, daily integrated exercises. Combine several types of training into one routine. For example, you might start your day with a short memory drill, follow it with a critical thinking challenge, then spend a few minutes solving a problem or puzzle. You might end the day with a brief reflection or meditation to clear your mind. Rotating these exercises keeps your brain flexible and strengthens multiple cognitive skills at once. Second, situational practice. Apply what you've learned in real situations. When a conflict arises at work, treat it as a problem-solving exercise. When you feel stressed, practice your breathing and visualization techniques. When you make a big decision, consciously check for biases. Afterward, reflect on how you did and what you can adjust next time. You're translating mental skills into real-world performance. Third, a bias check routine. Before major decisions, pause and ask, what biases might be influencing me right now? Are you only looking for information that supports your idea? Are you afraid of loss more than you're excited about potential gain? Are you anchored to the first number or opinion you heard? Adjust your thinking accordingly. This simple habit ensures more objective, accurate choices. Fourth, stress and pressure training. Continue to expose yourself to incremental challenges. Use your breathing, visualization, and focus techniques in these situations. Notice how your performance changes as you become more practiced. Over time, your brain learns that pressure is not a threat, but a signal to engage your training. Fifth, reflection and reinforcement. Maintain a weekly cognitive journal. Record your exercises, challenges, decisions, successes, and areas for improvement. Adjust your training plan based on what you observe. This transforms your effort from random practice into a structured path toward mastery. Take a moment now to reflect deeply. Am I using my brain's full potential in daily life? How integrated are my thinking, problem solving, and emotional skills? What pressures or challenges can I face today to strengthen my resilience? How can I systematically identify and neutralize biases in my decisions? What habits will ensure continuous mental growth and mastery? Your brain is not just an organ. It is your most powerful tool for success, influence, and transformation. The way you train, use, and maintain it will determine the quality of every decision, every action, and every outcome in your life. If this audiobook has provided value, make sure to subscribe and share it with others who want to outsmart any situation. Every small step you take today compounds into extraordinary mental power tomorrow. Now let's conclude. Closing insight. Your brain, your superpower, remember this. Your mind is trainable, intelligence is not fixed. Mental agility, problem solving, and bias awareness can all be practiced and strengthened. Performance under pressure is a skill, not a matter of luck. Reflection and deliberate practice are what solidify mastery over time. As you move forward, embrace the mindset of a lifelong learner, a strategist, and a mental athlete. Every challenge is an opportunity. Every problem is a puzzle to solve. Every high-pressure situation is a test, and your brain, when trained, will rise to meet it. Go forward knowing this. You have the tools, the knowledge, and the strategies to outsmart any situation, anytime. Your brain is your superpower. Train it, trust it, and use it, and nothing will stand in your way. Outro. Take control of your mind. You've reached the end of this audiobook. Congratulations on investing in your most powerful tool, your brain. Across these chapters, you've learned how to develop mental agility to think faster and adapt to any situation, recognize and neutralize cognitive biases that cloud judgment, master problem solving and make strategic decisions, train your mind to perform under pressure, and integrate these skills to unlock your brain's full potential. But knowledge alone is not enough. Action is what transforms your brain into a true superpower. From today, commit to daily practice. Reflect on your experiences, challenge yourself regularly, and expose yourself to situations that test your mental strength. Every small effort compounds over time, creating a brain that not only thinks clearly, but also acts decisively, creatively, and confidently. Remember, your brain is your ultimate advantage. The more you train it, the more unstoppable you become. Before we finish, take a moment to reflect. What is one actionable habit you will implement today to strengthen your mind? How will you approach challenges differently after learning these principles? What mindset shifts can you make right now to ensure lifelong cognitive growth? You now have the tools to outsmart any situation, solve complex problems, and thrive under pressure. Use them consistently. Train your mind deliberately. And watch how your life changes. Thank you for listening. If this audiobook brought you value, make sure to subscribe, share it, and apply these principles daily. Your brain is powerful. Now it's time to make it unstoppable.